Hey guys, it's MandaPanda, and today we're going to be making a custom that I have been wanting to do for such a long time now. The cutest pony of chaos, a Screwball. To make this custom, I'm going to be using one of the new My Little Pony figurines for two reasons. One is I've just been wanting to customize a new figurine to see how it works. Is it the same as the older G4s? And two, I think that Pinky's playful expression and body position is perfect for Screwball. I'm gonna try and take off her head just like I do the other ponies by twisting it firmly to the side, and oh my gosh, this is really hard. This head is not budging, so I'm actually just gonna get my X-Acto knife and put a couple of slits right in that neck plug and see if it will kind of just slip out of there a little bit easier. And oh yeah, that totally worked. Time to remove all the pony's hair. And by looking at this, I can tell that the plastic of the body is a lot thinner than these other G4s, so I would not recommend cutting out that neck plug because you're gonna risk cutting the actual pony body, and your X-Acto knife might actually slice through the plastic, and you don't want that to happen. So I'm just gonna cut off the majority of the tail and then press the rest of it into the body, and then we'll give her a new tail later on. Let's finish removing that hair. You can see right here on the bottom of that neck plug where I put in two thin slices. It didn't really do any damage, and it made it really easy to remove the head. Now I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut all around that neck plug because I do have to get access to the hair roots to remove the original mane. I'm going to grab my large scissors really quickly, cut off the bulk of Pinky's original hair, and then switch over to these tiny little nail scissors and then cut the hair all the way down to the scalp. Now this step is super important because the shorter the pony's hair is, the easier it's going to be for you to pull out the roots from the inside of the head. So there's her hair cut. I'm going to grab my long nose pliers, reach into the head, and just pull out all of the hair roots and glue. And if you don't have pliers, you could always use a tweezer. So now the head's completely bald, there's no tail. Let's get started with the transformation. First, I need to make the body color for Screwball. And she's like this weird orchid purpley pink color. I didn't have a nail polish that matched or an acrylic paint that matched, so I'm actually gonna have to make one by mixing white, a violet, and purple. And to me, this is a really close match to Screwball's body. We're gonna start by working on her head first. Using a little bit of acetone, I'm gonna remove Pinky's bottom eyelashes and the color in her eyes, but I'm just gonna keep the general eye shape to help me with the new eyes in a little bit. I put the head at the end of a marker to help me hold it while I'm painting without risking me smudging the paint job. So I'm actually gonna give the pony 4 coats of this purple paint. It's all dried. I love this color. It looks nice. Now I'm gonna work on the eyes. Using some white acrylic paint, I'm gonna go in and redefine the shape of the eye. And I'm gonna use 3 coats of paint for this part. Let it dry and then go in with bright purple for her actual eyes. I'm going for like a kooky, crazy-eyed look here. So I'm just gonna put in a very rough outline of the eye and then place the second one before I go in with the second and third coats to make that eye bigger and deepen the color. You just kind of want to get your position right first. So that purple has dried. Now I'm going in with a very light purple and a fine brush to draw in that swirl she has for her eyes, because she doesn't actually have pupils. She just has little swirls like this. super chaotic, but adorable. And then I'm gonna let that dry about halfway and then go in with a shade of purple a little bit darker than her eye and just diffuse the line a little bit. I didn't want it to be so harsh. Going in with some black, and I'm gonna draw her eyelashes and then just outline the top of her eyes. To enhance the look of her swirled eyes, I made sure to start the swirls at different points, and it just looks like so much kookier and awesome. Now I'm gonna use a little bit of red and a little bit of pink acrylic paint to just define her mouth a little bit. Once all the paint has completely dried, I'm going to go over it with 2 layers of top coat. Let that dry, and then it's time for her new mane. I picked out the colors Sugarplum and Snow from dollyhair.com. I thought it was a really good match to Screwball's purple and white hair. I'm going to be using my rerooting tool from dollyhair.com. It is a pronged needle, so you can see it there on camera. You can see that prong right in between those 2 little needle heads. And I have cut the hair to 1/3 of the original length, wrapped it around my finger, and I'm very gently going to go in and pick that hair up, catch it right in between that prong, just like that. It is a needle, so it is kind of sharp. Just decide what hole you want to put your hair in, press down, and just like that, the hair will anchor itself inside of the pony's head. You can see right there on camera what it's going to look like. And then just repeat this process over and over again until the pony has a new mane. I put in her white highlights first. I think I put in about 7 of them, and then I'm gonna fill in the rest of the head with purple. Now I will say that these new ponies, the head plastic is a lot softer than the older one, so my needle is going in so much easier than before. All her hair is in. It is time to secure those new hair plugs, and I'm just squirting hot glue directly inside of the pony's head, and once it dries it will secure all of that hair. Gonna put the head to the side and start working on her signature hat. I'm working with a new tool today. This is a rolling ball. I got it from Amazon. I'll put a link down below if you're interested in buying a set of your own. I'm using the 3rd largest ball in that set, taking a little bit of sugrue. This is like 1/4 of the package, and I just smooth that out right at the top of that ball, about halfway down. It is just honestly the perfect shape for her hat. Now I'm just taking my little blunt tool here and etching in the 2 lines across, because the hat does have 4 sections. Pop the sugrue hat off and then use a toothpick to press a hole right in the middle. I'm gonna put it back on the ball and let that set to the side. I have a little bit of sugrue here. It's still wet. I kind of have it in the rough shape of like a plus sign, and I'm just gonna mount it to the end of another toothpick and put that aside and let it dry. So here's the hat. It's completely set, and it is time for a little bit of paint. I'm using a very faint yellow here. Gonna paint 2 of those sections of the hat and then give it an edge down at the bottom. Put that to the side, let that dry, and let's finish up the propeller. It has completely dried, but it is just way too big for the top of that little hat we just made. So I'm just gonna take my X-Acto knife and very carefully trim it down. That is a perfect size. Now the paint is all dried. I'm gonna take this hat off, and see, my hole is still there. Now I'm going to just insert that toothpick in the top of the hat, decide how high I want that propeller to be, and then I'm gonna mark that toothpick from the inside and then cut off all of the extra using my small tiny little nail scissors. Whoa, that went flying. But let's reinsert that propeller on the top of the hat and secure the toothpick from the inside with some Gorilla Glue. So I'm just gonna put a nice amount right in the center of the inside of the hat there. And then finish up the painting, a little bit of silver and some green. And then I'm gonna seal all of that paint in and then start working on her body using a little bit of acetone to remove Pinky's original cutie mark. And I'm just gonna put a paintbrush through the tail hole to help me paint the entire body without smudging the paint job. 4 coats of that purple that we made earlier. Let that completely dry, and then let's give her her cutie mark. And her cutie mark is 2 things. It's a screw and a ball for Screwball. I'm using my nail dotting tool to make a perfect white circle there using acrylic paint. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, go in with some gray right next to it, and paint a thin triangle. Think of like the shape of a carrot, and then I'm going to go in with a darker shade of gray for the top of that screw, and I'm going to use that same color for the threading on the baseball, switching over to an even lighter shade of gray for the threading on the screw. And then go in and put a few stitches on that baseball. Cutie mark looks awesome. Let's give it a coat of clear top coat, let that dry, and then let's give her a tail. I have a mixture of that same purple and a little bit of that white. I have twist tied it together very, very, very tightly. I'm going to take a little bit of my white Gorilla Glue, squeeze it directly inside of the tail hole, and I also put a little bit right at the end of the twist tie, and then I'm going to use my nail dotting tool to push that tail in. When the glue dries, it'll secure the tail from the inside. Gonna reattach that neck plug we cut out earlier, put the head back on, and that's it. Let's take a look at the completed custom. Here is Screwball, the pony who loves chaos, and her hat looks so adorable at the top of her head. Some people believe that Screwball is the daughter of Discord, but it's just a theory. To my knowledge, I don't think it's actually been proven true or not. So what do you think? Is she Discord's daughter or not? Either way, she is such a cutie. Those eyes are just so adorable. And in case you're wondering how I curled her hair, you're gonna have to go check out my Fan Custom Friday pony number 16, Juicy Grapes. I used the exact same method from that video on this pony, but I only used 5 straws to make sure that the curls were nice and big. That's it for this custom pony tutorial. If you have an idea for my next custom, I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, little pandas. Until next time, bye! You can follow me online to get the latest news and updates, like my Facebook page, facebook.com/MandaPanda Toy Collector, or follow me on Instagram at MandaPanda Toy Collector. Want to mail me something? Guess what? You can. Mail it to MandaPanda, P.O. Box 2855, Humble, Texas 77347.